Owie. Hello, and welcome to another episode of Improperly Packaged, a show where we unbox topics related to movies, TV, games, whatever. With me is Luke. How are you doing, Luke? I'm Jordan, too. I forget that part. Whatever. Hey.
You are Jordan. I am Luke, and I am good.
And together, we are...
Improperly. No,
New intro.
we are Lou Orden. No, I hate those combo names.
Oh, combo names? Yeah. Your Lucany has followed you for some
Luke
time.
Jordan.
Lorden, yeah. Fantastic. How are you doing, man?
Doing good. So, continuing on the escapade of food, I've upgraded my cooking situation. So,
Tell me about it.
we've been talking about this for a while, my wife and I mean, when I say we, not you and I. Talking about getting a griddle grill, and we finally did. We got ourselves a Blackstone, and we just got it a couple days ago. I just made my second meal on it tonight. Little chicken fried rice. I say chicken fried rice, but really we did steak, we did shrimp, and we did broccoli, and we did the chicken fried rice.
That is the old house special, Luke.
The old house special.
The multiple meats.
Yep. I'm going to give myself as much meat as I can because this is my house.
Yeah.
I'm not going to get slacked like I do at the restaurant.
That's what's special about it.
There's nothing worse than when they only my wife really likes the shrimp, and as I've had more, you and I both, we go to Hibachi, it's one of our places that we go with our other buddies and wives and
Volcano
witchamahoosums.
Volcano.
And yeah, so we know what's up there, and just shrimp, it's chicken, it's steak, it's your typical one. Scallops, I think, is one we've been talking about. Maybe we should be trying.
We should try that. Yeah.
Never get it for some reason, just because we're silly Americans, I guess. We don't branch out enough.
I think that's an American thing, though. Scallops, it's like a northern thing.
I know. I guess I feel like in the group that we grew up, there's not a lot of expanding your palate. It's you kind of get in your groove with your normal things, and you just don't do enough. And I feel more if you live in Europe, it's not so much that Americans are bad. It's just that when you live in Europe, you're right next to all these other countries and cultures and other foods. And so I think you have a lot more opportunity to experience those things than you do in America. Whereas yes, there's different foods in America, but honestly, a lot of foods are pretty consistent. You go to Texas and you get barbecue, and you go to Florida and you get barbecue. It's not all that different. It might be better in Texas, but it's kind of the same. That's what I mean by silly Americans. Some people mean it oh yeah, stupid Americans. I don't mean it that way. It's just we're a little less exploratory with our palate. That's all I meant by that.
Yeah, which is weird because we're a melting pot, but whatever.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think we're spoiled in that way too. We get all these things, and so we just get in our groove, and anyways, I don't even know why I was talking about all that, but yeah, I made a chicken fried rice, and then I made burgers last night, and so it's a big grill that has gas burners underneath, and then it's all griddle on the top. It's a big cast iron griddle, and got a lid, and it's got a couple of tables on the side like a normal grill, and a couple cool features it has a little rung thing that comes out, and you put a paper towel roll, so it's right there handy for you to clean up, which is especially nice for a griddle because you're always having to season it and clean it before and after. And so you put down your oil, and you can use a paper towel. This is actually what the manual tells you to do. Paper towel, spread it all out, let it smoke, let it burn off, and then of course at the end you gotta scrape it all, and then I do a nice little wipe down with some water at the end. And then on the other side, it's got this cool little rack thing to put a trash bag in, so you can have a little trash right there for all your shenanigans that fall off during the cooking process. And
you're just going crazy with the thing.
You really are. I mean, as you probably know, I'm sure at some point you've tried to cook the Yomato's thing. It's insane.
You can't really sit still when it comes to that.
It's crazy.
It'll
it's
burn.
I had broccoli going, we put a pot over it to try to steam it, put the water in, put some butter, put some, I don't know, salt and pepper, whatever else I put in. Then I have my, I had my steak and my chicken, my entire thing's full. And then I have the rice going in the middle, and it's just, it's crazy. You think it's this big griddle, and then all of a sudden it's full because you have so many different things going. So we're evolving, tonight it came out pretty good. I mean, there was nothing that was inedible. It was just, it wasn't as good as I had wished it had been. But you know, it's our first time. It's actually our second time. This is our first time doing it on the griddle, trying to do it right.
Yeah.
So, having done that, I definitely see why there's like literal schools for this thing, because it's complicated for sure.
School.
Yeah, but it's fun. I'm excited. We got like a breakfast kit. So there's like this cool measuring cup. You make your batter in the kitchen, and then you put it into this. I don't even know what to call it. It kind of looks like a measuring cup. It's got a handle and it's got like a button, and it goes like, it has like a funnel down at the very bottom that goes to a little like hole. And when you press the button, it opens up, so you can like hit the button. It pours your pancake, and then you release the button and it stops. Okay. You get these like, it's like easier than having to like tip over, pour something. So that's kind of cool. And then there's like some egg rings that came with it, and so we're gonna do some bacon, some eggs, some pancakes this weekend.
It's like you're gonna have to have me over for some Brenner or something, or some
flipping
brunch.
I'm trying to make more stuff, and you know, of course, it helps season the grill too, which makes it less sticky for foods and everything. Which I will say, that's one of the nice things. It being cast iron, it already, I guess it was already pre-seasoned. It felt pretty greasy when I like installed it, but it did not stick. Tonight I was like able to scrape everything off like super quick, and we even got like a cleaning kit, and man, it's just, it cleans up so easy, and it's so nice to like, you have no pans to clean. Like, your griddle is your pan, so like there's no like, oh yeah, here's where I cook this and this. I got to clean 5 or 6 pans and pots, and I steam the broccoli in the broccoli steamer and clean all that crap. And no, you just, the one thing, scrape it off, and it's got like a hole in the back. That's one kind of neat thing. Like a lot of them have it in the front. This is actually in the back. Do you like have all the working space in the front? You don't have to worry about stuff like falling through. But in the back, it's all angled. The grease falls into a little pan in the back. That's a neat feature.
Very nice.
Anyways, really cool. Excited.
Oh, good. This is the time to experiment with food. 4th of July. I just yesterday, I think I made the best thing I've ever made in my entire life. And it was a steak, which I struggle with steak. Like steak, I've always wanted. Like I'm always like I work through fear every single time I make a steak. I'm like, I'm gonna overcook it. It's not gonna be the way I want it. It's not gonna be flavorful or whatever. And this is the first time where I was like, this is exactly what I wanted. So I was following 2 recipes for this meal. You'll be really proud of one of them. For the steak, it was a Gordon Ramsay recipe. Get this. Yeah. This steak is made in the air fryer. Which because I saw him do it, I was like, wow, that looks amazing.
Got a cool little like air fryer oven. I've seen that.
Yeah, it's like one of those combos. And he used like an egg. So I was like, one of the egg shaped ones. So I was like, I hope it turns out the same. But what it is, it's like you put a rub of coffee grounds and Aleppo pepper on the strip. And I let it sit there for like 15 minutes. Preheat the air fryer, put it in that puppy, 8-9 minutes, 400 degrees. Boom. Let it sit for like 5 minutes to absorb the flavor. Diagonal cuts as he instructed. My God.
All right.
I'll send you a picture. It's beautiful. And for my side dish, Sam, the cooking guy, showed me the way with some Lay's.
Isn't he the best?
Potato chips, mashed potatoes.
Yep.
I freaking tried it.
Good.
And holy crap.
Still haven't tried that.
It's good. It's freaking good. Yeah. I tried it with sour cream and onion.
He goes on and on about how good it is.
He really does. And he's correct to do it because it does feel so strange. Like when you're doing it, you're like, I'm putting mashed potatoes in water and I'm pouring like half and half on it.
Yeah.
It's like what white trash, like whatever. But
it does feel that way.
It is good. It's crazy. It does. The only thing I'll say is what the recipe he gives, that's like 1 portion for like 1 person. So you'd have to like either double the recipe or do it twice or something like that. So, but anywho, highly recommend both of those recipes. One of them they're both on YouTube. Are you ready to get blown away?
Sure.
All right.
Blow me away.
I mean, I don't have to because there's a
Breaking Benjamin
tropical storm heading in our general direction.
This very evening. Something so exciting.
I mean, it is kind of exciting.
Don't remind me. Freaking hurricane coming. So I think it's going to become a hurricane. I don't know if it'll hit us as a hurricane, but
yeah, usually by the time whatever it is comes to the shores of Florida, it diminishes by the time it actually gets to our area. I don't know.
But this one has like the shortest distance between sea and us.
You're right. Usually it comes like up the tip straight to us.
Nope, skipping the tip.
It's skipping the tip. It's all right on the edge.
Main goodies.
Yeah.
Trying to not say what I want to say.
It's fine. There's always something a little exciting to me about tropical storms and hurricanes when they're coming. It sucks, especially now, because I'm like, oh, as someone who's the new homeowner, I'm like, what's it gonna do to my yard? Is my shed gonna withstand this?
Tree on the house, man.
Tree on the house. Is a garbage can gonna fly through the window? All sorts of stuff, And so, yeah. But that being said, there is something cool about like everyone is like worried about the same exact thing, it's like almost like unifying. It's like how the beginning stages of COVID were, back when COVID was starting and everyone was like, hey, yeah, we're all in this together, all that. And then like a month later, it was like, I hate you or whatever. But you get that first stage with the hurricane every single time. Because it's like, oh, here comes the hurricane. Oh, you're going to get some water. Oh, how you doing, man? Just checking in. Here it comes. Are you ready? It's like almost kind of strange and exciting in a way. It's weird. But I'm not looking forward to it.
At some point, you'll have to think about maybe a generator, Jordan, as a homeowner.
I think so. Like there was just a few
Actually, I'm going to go get gas after this for mine. I haven't had a chance to.
Go get it. Hurry up. Here it comes, Luke. Here
okay,
it
see
comes.
You guys.
It's knocking at your door. Hurricane, what's
really
this one
is.
called? Elsa. But
sure.
Anyways, let's So watching /
Blow me away, Jordan.
I'm not that was really it. I was seriously just talking about the impending storm.
No, whatever it is, I know it's gonna blow me away.
What with watching / playing, I really don't think so. I'm sorry. I don't have anything mind blowing for watching / playing. Also / listening to. What you've been listening to, Luke? I want to start with you because you probably have something way more interesting as far as what you've been listening to, at least.
It's so frustrating. It doesn't feel like it does not sync between my two. So I'm going to go a little off of our typical beaten path here. So I'm going to recommend a couple of like what I would probably call house songs.
Oh.
So like more like... Yeah, you heard me listening to that earlier.
I heard you.
There's two of them. There's one by... There's so many featured artists on the songs. I'm not even sure who actually did this song, but it's Regard is the name of it, and it's the remix to the song You. Also featuring Troye Sivan.
Oh yeah, I know him.
Yeah, it's a good remix. Very beat driven song. And then the second one is by a band well, artist, I guess, not really band, called Vandalux. And this one actually, silly enough, I follow some of these, silly Instagram accounts, and one of them's like College Weekly. They just post like stupid stuff, people being like jumping off roofs and missing the pool, or stupid stuff.
Love it.
People getting drunk,
falling.
But they had like this one thing for some reason. I don't know if like Vandalux maybe it paid them to do this or something. Who really cares? I like the song, but Matter of Time. This guy was just like talking about this song, and I listened to it. I'm like, I gotta agree with him. It's a pretty good song. So yeah, it's called Matter of Time by Vandalux, featuring Alex Maher. And yeah, it's like it. I think at one point we had talked about like music that you like work to, you like study to, which we're not really in school right now, so we're not doing that. But or you just kind of chill out to, maybe even like if you're by yourself, you drive to. It's like very like mellow, but it's not like it's not like trance where it's like just the same beat like over and over again for an hour. This is only like a 4-minute song, and it's got the beat in the background, but it also has real lyrics. So I guess house music is the way that's categorized. I never know the genre.
It's hard. I don't know either. I'm not an expert when it comes to that stuff.
Yeah. It's like beat driven music with lyrics, whatever that is. I'm going to call it house music.
That's fine. It's your house special. You can call it whatever you want.
You've been listening to something?
No, not too much. I don't have much to say. I've been listening to 8090, which don't know too much about that. My computer just went haywire for like a second. Can you see me all right?
Went black.
All right, hold on. Is it coming back? Is it back?
I can see you. Yeah,
right,
it
cool.
never went away.
Oh, great. Yeah, which is my light. It just went black. Yeah. Strangely enough.
It's called 8090?
8090. It's like, you know,
like the numbers are spelled out.
It's spelled out.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just yeah, like a pop,
I see it,
kind of singer-songwriter kind of thing. Let's see. I don't know what's going on with my computer here. It like I'm gonna real quick, I'm gonna reset Zoom. So give me a second. I'm gonna have to like get the audio from elsewhere, but one moment. I'll be raw. I'll hit you up in just a second. Ugh. Gosh, why did that happen? All right. Oh, you brought a lamp to the party. That looks good.
Now we're talking.
Now we're cooking with gas.
Went and got that freaking lamp and put it up here. Like whiting out my background.
Yeah, looks good.
Then up here, it's like super dark.
Yeah. All right. And here we go.
This meeting is being recorded.
Yes, it is.
Oh my God. But yeah, they're pretty good. I haven't listened to a ton of them. It's just I haven't listened to a lot of new stuff. I think that's really why I brought them up. Just a song called what's the song called, Jordan?
10K Summer Nights.
That's the one.
Their number one song.
Yeah, it is. It's one of those songs that popped up on random when I was listening to other.
Son of a bee.
Luke, the house special is falling apart. I don't know why I keep saying that. I need to stop. We're doing a really good job. It's super improper.
Hurricane episode.
Hurricane party. But that's pretty much it.
Yeah, they're good.
Yeah.
I like them.
All right. So watching / playing, actually a few things this week for me. So I went to the theaters and I saw the movie that, you know, we talked about this on the podcast. I'm not looking forward to seeing this movie. Cruella. Emma Stone, Emma Thompson. Obviously, kind of like a new take on the villain.
Yep.
You know, I'm just sick of the whole, if we're doing a villain, but it's like misunderstood or whatever. And so we're going to focus on this villain, but they're not really a villain, you know? And,
yep.
Whether it be Maleficent, and there's several others that do this sort of thing. I'm having trouble thinking of all the other ones right now, but it bothers me because I'm like, you got an awesome villain, and here we go. We're going to do something that's like kind of betrays what that character was. This movie was really freaking good. So
surprised to hear you say that.
I'm surprised to hear me say this.
I was definitely more excited to see it.
You definitely were.
Still haven't yet.
I was wrong. And so, yeah, I mean, seeing it, I was just like, about 15, 20 minutes into the movie, I was like, oh no. this movie is going to be good, isn't it? Because it's like you
Gotta
can
eat crow.
Yeah, here start preparing my air fryer crow meal or whatever. But because this thing, it's like whoever made it, like you can tell sometimes when someone's like, I'm gonna throw this together. I was given a script for Cruella. I guess I gotta.
I felt a little bit like that with Maleficent too.
100%.
Definitely felt like there just wasn't a lot of story there.
Yeah, it's like the person
They
was
leaned
handed
into the fantasy
script.
so much.
Yeah. And Maleficent was barely a character in it. She was like silent through like 80% of it.
That was really frustrating.
Weird. This is like whoever made this movie cared. Like it seems like a movie that was like just, I don't know, it had no right to be this good. It's strange. Like for the writing to be so good, for the cinematography to be as good as it is, and of course the freaking acting. The acting was really, really good.
Yeah.
Emma Stone and Emma Thompson were really, really good in the movie. It was just great. And like there were parts that happened that I would expect to happen in other Disney movies. Like some of the parts were like, because there's a surrealism sometimes where it's like something really goofy will happen. But somehow it's done in a way that doesn't pull me out because it's a very dark kind of movie, like sometimes in subject matter, but very much so in like the way it looks, like the color palette's pretty dark. But something will happen. For instance, like the movie has like a few dogs in it that the dogs every now and then will do something silly, which if someone were to tell me what would happen, I'll be like, well, that's going to take me out of the movie. But for some reason it just doesn't. Everything just kind of feels cohesive within the tone of the movie, which it's like,
that's awesome.
It doesn't feel like a Disney movie. Sometimes I'm watching it and I'm like, this feels like maybe 90s Disney movie when they would like take more risks and like make a movie that isn't for little kids, because it really isn't. It's not a movie for little kids. It's not like there's nothing in it that's super bad or super like scary or anything, but just like if I was a kid, I mean, I might be bored or whatever, but I don't know. I found it really entertaining. It's a little long, but that being said, it's one of those long movies where I'm like looking at it, I don't really know what I would have done to shorten it, because even scenes that maybe didn't need to be there, I was enjoying every single scene. I don't know. I'm kind of stunned that and when I talk about this movie, it's in such a positive way because I don't know.
I'm really excited to see it now.
It was really, it was
just hard for me to get to the theater as much as I want to. It's just harder. Like one of us has to be here with him as part of it. And then, we had a trip this weekend, or I would have come with you, but yeah, what can I say?
Yeah.
It's harder to. I wish I could.
Yeah, it happened. Like, thankfully with the pass, I mean, maybe whenever you can sneak away, you can just, but, yeah, I recommend it. I mean, it's just very entertaining. It's like my wife pointed out, saying it's like it's like a crazy version of Devil Wears Prada, or something like that. But I don't know. It's great. I beat 2 games today. I mean, not today, over the weekend.
Nice.
They are side games. I've been kind of playing them for a while. I haven't really brought them up on the podcast yet. When I say they're side games, they're both spin-off games, and so like it makes sense actually to talk about them together. One of them is a game that I've been waiting to go on sale. It is Kingdom Hearts Melody of Memory.
I
think we've talked briefly about this game. So yeah, it's a Kingdom Hearts game. Every Kingdom Hearts game matters. There's unfortunately, no matter how small a Kingdom Hearts game, there's not really one.
Where
that
does this line up?
This takes place technically after 3, and all of it's DLC, and it is a rhythm game. Luke, this is a rhythm game.
This is a Switch game.
This is on PlayStation 4, Switch, and I think Xbox as well.
So it's more of a last gen.
It is. It's absolutely. There's nothing big about this game. That's why.
When did it come out?
It came out the day the PlayStation 5 came out, and it was like that same week. And I was like, well, there's no way I'm getting it.
Does not seem well planned.
No, not really. And seeing this, I'm like, a rhythm game. It was $60, and and I didn't really want to spend $60 on a rhythm game. I mean, for some people who like and are like play a lot more rhythm games, that could be a no brainer for you. It could be just as appealing to someone as, say, a fighting game is, where it's like, well, you just fight people. Well, you just, do rhythm. I can see it, but for me, no. Okay, so it went down to $30, and I was like, now we're talking. And so it's finally time to play it. I'm not an expert when it comes to rhythm games. The only thing I know for rhythm games are Guitar Hero and Rock Band. Other than that, and I've never even really played DDR. It's just not so much my thing, but there's some appeal to it. It's not like Kingdom Hearts made a driving sim or a freaking golf game or anything like that that I have zero interest in. I'm like, well, I love the music of Kingdom Hearts, and rhythm games doesn't sound terrible, and this contains some story elements for what's to come to get me excited for whatever's next. So yeah, let's go. And so as it stands, I from what I can tell, it seems like a good rhythm game. I mean, it took me about maybe 13 hours to get to the end. And yeah, I mean, it's interesting in the way that it's presented. What it is like Sora and like two other characters. It's three characters from we choose like which team you want to be between like a few of the characters in the game. And so you're running down like basically what kind of seems like a music staff, and the song starts and the enemies that you hit represent the beats or whatever as you go along, you're basically just doing these rhythm things. It's all to the beat, and you have to do certain button combinations. It's for someone who's probably really into rhythm games, this is probably pretty typical stuff, but for me it seemed kind of new. But I had fun with it. There were times when I like how I could tell I was having fun with it is I beat it pretty quickly. I have had that one more song kind of mentality. I was like, oh, I'll do one more song. Oh, okay, I'll do one more song. But one thing I will say, if you are looking to get into the Kingdom Hearts story and you're like, I just want to play this for the story, I really don't want to play this, you really don't have to. I mean, you should look up the story, but you can do that on YouTube, because the thing is, all the story is like 20 minutes long, and it's truncated all at the end. It is all at the end. Everything else is just like, it's one of the characters, Kairi, going through her memories, and so it's a lot of recap as far as the story is concerned, but there's not much of it. You just go, okay, now to this world of music, now to this world of music, and there'll be like an interstitial of her narrating something. But for what
Throughout
it was,
all
it was
these
fun.
games, is there just a linear story that's going on, or are there like branches of stories in addition to the main story?
Definitely branches. It goes like Kingdom Hearts 1, then Kingdom Hearts 2, and then like Birth by Sleep happens before Kingdom Hearts, and the 365 days over 2 takes place like between Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2. There are a few branching paths, but nothing too insane as far as like timelines and all that stuff. There's just a few spin-offs that like take place either at the same time as one thing's happening, or there's like a prequel, but it's pretty easy to tell kind of when things happen.
But prequel's still linear.
Yeah.
Right. So.
Yeah. Absolutely. So, but that's that. And I had an okay time with it. Honestly, all in all, I was like, yeah, I look back on my experience playing that game fondly, and I wouldn't spend more than $30. But for me, $30 actually seemed right. I'm like, well, I was like thinking while playing, I'm like, wow, there's a lot of songs in this thing. And if I really wanted to, I could spend a lot of time like really diving into this thing and getting all the achievements and getting all the goals and unlocking everything. But I don't feel like doing that. One, it's really difficult. Like, it can be real. If you like take it up to the next difficulty, it's stupid hard. It is ridiculous. And so I'm not going to do that, because I feel like I'd just get frustrated, and for playing.
That's how Guitar Hero goes pretty quickly.
Oh yeah, where it's just like you're looking at it and you're just like, it's just like, wow, what do I do? The second spin-off game I play, it's hard to say what's a spin-off game in the Pokemon series, because they have so many more spin-offs than they do actual like mainline series games, you know? Like,
yeah, not even like pretend to understand what the storyline is for Pokemon.
there really isn't any, really, honestly, not. I never see, of the ones that I've played, I've never found that one will reference another. Generally speaking, it seems like there'll just be one. It's on some other continent, and here's your adventure. It's all just about, here are these monsters. Have fun. Honestly, that's really it. And I'd be really interested to see what someone who isn't into Pokemon would think of a game like Pokemon Snap.
Right.
I really would be, because like, even if you weren't into Pokemon, if I handed someone a mainline Pokemon game, it's like, okay, yeah, you catch this monster and you do a turn-based thing, okay, and you fight or whatever, and you go on your little adventure, and then it's over. With Pokemon Snap, this is a game where you go around an environment on rails and you take pictures of Pokemon. And so I am not sure if that appeal would extend outside of Pokemon fans. I really don't know.
Yeah.
I'd be curious to know. I mean, if you found the monsters like cute or something, maybe, but other than that, I mean, that's what the game is. There are so many different elements that I'm not talking about. I simplified it to like the most simple terms, but I mean, are you familiar with this at all?
No, I can't say I am.
I mean, what you do, I mean, you take pictures of Pokemon, but throughout the game you interact in certain ways.
That's about all I know.
So there's some interactivity to it, other than just ooh, and you're seeing the same thing each time or whatever. You throw apples and you throw this thing called Illumina orbs, and you have like a music thing that you play, and certain Pokemon react in certain ways if you say feed them a fruit, or hit them with a fruit, or hit them with an orb, or play your flute while you're around them. And it's all about like being observant and looking at all the different Pokemon and being like, okay, well, if I throw a fruit here and lead this Pokemon over here, and then I throw an orb at this thing that lights up, it'll make these Pokemon do certain things. So when I take a picture of them, it'll get a really good ranking. That's it in a nutshell.
So you get points for your ranking? Is that the idea?
Yeah.
Of your pictures?
Yeah, your if like a Pokemon standing still, and it's like, just kind of wandering about, and you take a picture of it, and it's just kind of just being ordinary, and you just take a picture of it. It's like a 1 star. And depending on how
it's auto-generated, right? The rankings.
Yeah.
It's not like user rated or something.
No,
in the community.
Yeah. It'll break down the reasoning for you. Like, it'll be like placement, pose, background, like stuff like that. It'll tell you, but it's definitely in the...
So your goal is to get some insane thing, some crazy action shot.
So, like, if it's standing still...
Like, if you're taking real-life pictures of animals, you'd want, like, the crazy... The eagle coming down and grabbing the salmon out of the river.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. So... if you take a picture of, say, like a Squirtle, and he's like standing still, and you take it far away, you get 1 star. And it's like, if it's far away and kind of crappy, it's like a bronze. But if you're close up and it's amazing, it goes all the way up to like diamond star. But if it's
he'll scare him.
Yeah. And if it's doing something crazy, like it's doing its like bubble beam attack on like some other Pokemon, and you get like a really close up, it's like 4-star diamond, so it's like figuring out the timing. And this one, the original Pokemon Snap for the Nintendo 64, was a very short game. It's like you go on your tracks, the Pokemon are pretty much doing the exact same thing. It's about figuring out what you do to change what they do. But with this one, there's a lot more levels, and each time you go, you level up your ranking on that course. And so each time you go back to the course, the Pokemon, they change what they do. And so, like, if you say get a level 2 ranking in one of the courses, maybe like the first time you go out and it's just no Pokemon are there, and you have to look around to find them. But then you go on the second time, the Pokemon are more comfortable with you, so they'll be like a Pichu or something right there at the beginning to like greet you or something. And so the Pokemon like get more comfortable with you on each course. And they've also added nighttime shoots, so you can like see that same area at night, so you can see like different types of Pokemon. So there's a lot of replay value compared to the first one, where it's just like all right, so here's a really compact experience, but you're going to spend all your time finding out all the secrets within it. And this one is a lot more expansive. I had a lot of fun with it. I mean, I'm still playing
watching
it.
some gameplay to kind of get an idea what it's like.
This one was one that, like, my wife was more excited about this than I was. Like, she was like, oh my gosh, finally, and so she was like, usually I'm the one who's like, let's get this, but she was like, let's get this, and it was all like, all right, let's go. And so she beat it before I did, and I just beat it over the weekend, and I'm still playing it to kind of like max out my level in some of the courses and find some of these legendary Pokemon that unlock after you beat it. But I feel like this is as good of a sequel as it could have possibly been for that Nintendo 64 game. And so it looks actually really good for a Switch game, I think. But yeah, I was pretty impressed with what they've done, because it's kind of like
looks interesting.
It's a hard game to like get right, believe it or not, because like you can easily make it boring to find ways to, because I remember playing the first Pokemon Snap and I'm almost like thinking like, wow, I'm surprised at how much fun I'm having. And so to recapture that, but also expand upon it must have been a difficult thing, and I'm glad they figured it out.
I can feel that. I was kind of thinking, when I'm thinking about it, I'm like, that sounds pretty boring, but
yeah,
I can see as you explain more, it's like, okay, I could see. I mean, it's a very slow game, so there's going to be a lot of people that aren't going to be into this, but I can see how this is one of those mellow, you have fun as you go around, and it's very rewarding when you have like your score pop up.
Yeah.
And, like, I mean, people play Candy Crush nonstop, and that is the most simple, to me, like, mind-numbingly boring games, but it's one of the most addictive games in the world. So, like, if Candy Crush can do like crazy well, then I can understand how like Snap could be very fun. But
and it's
probably not something for me, but I can see how this could be interesting.
And it's one of those games,
any game where
it's
exploring. I just like the exploration of a game is always fun. Like like we've talked about, like Skyrim, and any RPG that has a big open world. And this isn't exactly that, but it's still in that same kind of category.
Absolutely. And it's kind of highlighted, like, playing it recently, and like just it's interesting how much recently Pokemon has just been infused in so many different areas in this generation.
They finally did. I mean, we've had this conversation on our old podcast back in like 2015 or 2014, whatever it was, about how much money is being left on the table by Pokemon. It's hard for me to speak. I can just speak from as an outsider, because Pokemon's not my thing, but like I see how it can be interesting for people. They're interesting enough characters. It's a world in which there's fun to be had, especially in the video game space. If the cards get as much attention as they, imagine if you have an interactive video game. I mean, there's so much potential there, and it was kind of untapped until recently.
And it really, like, I feel like Pokemon taps into nostalgia in a way that a lot of things can't, where it's like things that like you're nostalgic for, it usually like you can get into like short bursts and that's all you can take or whatever. But there's so much you can do with Pokemon that you feel like you get that comfort food in so many different ways. You could just kind of keep eating it. And so, in Pokemon Go, that's so different. Oh, Pokemon Snap, that's so different. Gosh. Mainline Pokemon, that's so different. It's like
they said Pokemon Go past $5 billion made. That's insane.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy. And it's 5 years.
Like taking that money off the table.
I know.
That's amazing.
Can't believe how much money they have. Most financially viable IP or something like that, I think, in video games, Pokemon.
No, of anything. I think we looked it up. It's the most profitable thing of anything ever.
That's amazing.
Isn't that crazy?
It's so funny.
Like, of all the things Disney has and Marvel and Star Wars, all that. No, Pokemon.
Pokemon. Yeah.
There's also just an incredible amount of money to be made in Asian entertainment. Like the Asian countries, whether it's Japan or China, like, first of all, they're just highly populated countries. But second of all, like, people consume content like crazy in those countries. As small as Japan is, it's amazing how like lucrative it is when you find the right thing there.
Absolutely. And there's
people are,
there's less of a division between children's and adult entertainment. It's like anime and that stuff. Yeah, very different. Like, that stuff is consumed by so many adults. But anywho, Pokemon Snap, very pleased with the experience. That's pretty much all I have. I've been playing Doom Eternal a little bit because the next gen upgrade happened, and I love that.
Because anytime you play a Pokemon game or you play a Nintendo game, there has to be a Doom counterpoint.
Exactly. I gotta blast some demons,
like Animal Crossing and Doom Eternal.
I have to rip a demon spinal column out. It's for every cute picture of a Clefairy, there has to be a spinal column ripped out of a demon. That's the balance of things.
The slashing guitar to back it up. Let's do this.
Yeah, it's awesome. All right, Luke, I took up a lot of time. How about you? What are you doing?
Damn, I'm gonna get the boring stuff that you guys have heard out of the way first, and then finally something I'm super excited about that's come out. Finally, a TV show I'm excited. So, still watching Silicon Valley. That show's so good. I'm reminded like how that show is so good from season 1. It's one of the few comedies that I will say I enjoyed from the first episode all the way to the last. I never think it really dipped in quality. There may be points in which the story is like maybe not quite as interesting as it was in other points, but they still find a way to like snap your attention right back onto what's going on. They find twists and turns, ways to like mix up what's going on, separate characters. It's just really cool. To me, it's great writing because they also incorporate like so many current things that aren't current now, but they were current in tech at the point at which that show was made and written. And
great
for a tech enthusiast, for somebody who likes tech adjacently, like I know you do, it's so much fun. If you even somewhat follow tech headlines, you probably notice things, and it's just it's a great cast too. It's one of those all-star casts that just like The Office or How I Met Your Mother or Friends. I mean, there's just sometimes you just strike gold when you get a certain group of people together, and to me, Silicon Valley was one of those. I can't sing its praises high enough. Year after year, man, I like find, we've used our friend's HBO account for years, but like year after year, I just find HBO like just consecutively creates great content, and they have a great back catalog, and they get a lot of things, either from WB or their adjacent studios. They get shortly after release onto DVD or home release, whatever you want to call it nowadays. I will say bang for your buck, like HBO Go, Max, whatever, is definitely the best buy. Like I find some good stuff on Amazon sometimes. I find some good stuff on Netflix, but HBO is like consistently the first app that I go to for my content.
A lot of quality.
And just a lot of high quality stuff. And I don't know if they just attract the right creators or what it is, but they've just, I guess, part of it is pedigree. They've been doing it for so long that, people come to them when they think that they have something that's worth HBO's time. And their documentaries are just unmatched. I mean, it's insane what the most recent one over COVID was the Michael Jordan one, Last Dance. Everybody's talking about that. And then there was the one where the guy admitted to murder a few years back. Like, it's just crazy the stuff they get. So yeah, if you're not on the HBO Max, I highly recommend get on that train, and you won't regret it. That physical show, we're up to date on that. It's just, it's a pretty good show. I'm excited that this is the first month we're now paying for Apple TV. I think we're going to do it for now. It's only $5 a month. It's the cheapest streaming service out there.
Really good.
They've got a lot of stuff coming out in the next 6 months or so, and I want to see how up until maybe December. I want to see how that time period is, because there's stuff that's coming out that's if these things disappoint, then I may just not worry about Apple TV anymore. But there's enough stuff out there that I think it's worth checking out, and especially somebody like you who's never gone into it. I think at some point you should get it at least for a couple months, just so you can watch some of this stuff. The Billie Eilish documentary was just so good. I think it's my favorite thing that's come out on Apple TV so far. But the the morning show? I think that's definitely worth a watch. There's some good acting in there and some pretty good storytelling. Very emotional, and it's heavy, but it's good stuff. So yeah, keeping up with that. I would say physical is probably the best, like the highest quality thing that's out right now on Apple TV.
Okay, like
That's
recent
current
thing.
at least. Yeah, and Rose Byrne, I mean, she's the one who really makes that show. She's a good enough actress that
Yeah.
she keeps it interesting. But finally, for my coup de grace,
Ooh.
Kevin can F himself. This is the new AMC show that defies definition. That's what I love about it. This is AMC, man. If it's not HBO, it's AMC. I mean,
Someone
time
just
and time
told me about this
again,
show.
like time and time again, AMC has shown that they are the house to bring your quality content to, because they will give you the treatment, they will give you the independence, the liberty. I'm speaking out of my butt right now, but just as an outsider watching their content, I feel like this seems to be true of them, that they will allow you to do whatever you want to do, which is, I would say, what they did with The Walking Dead, what they did with Breaking Bad. I think they're an up and comer. I think they have a lot of years of great content to come with good shows that we don't even know about. They have their own style. Kevin can F himself. This show definitely has that AMC feel to it. And so this is a quote unquote sitcom.
Okay.
And that's what I love about it. It's a sitcom that starts off as a sitcom and then you quickly realize this is not a sitcom in the least. That's what's so awesome about it.
Wow.
This is a single cam or two cam sitcom. And then you have the turn, like literally the turn to the 3 cam, 5 cam angles. And then you're in a full on drama. I mean, it turns into Breaking Bad, basically, style wise, not story wise, but it's about our girl, Annie Murphy from Schitt's Creek.
Alexis.
She's starring in it. And she's great. She's completely different from Schitt's Creek. She's an actress. She has range, and she's starting to show that in this show. I haven't seen her in a lot before this, so she may have had some great stuff before this. I don't know her well enough to know, but
question real quick. How are you watching this?
So that's an interesting one.
Okay. Help me out.
So they gave away the first, I want to say 2 episodes. Like, I think if you just maybe go to the AMC app or something for me, it was the Apple TV app. It's just
which links
the
to
app
it,
for all the things, and it just shows you. I think if you go to like iTunes, if you can go to that somehow, they give away the first 2 episodes.
Okay.
And so then we were trying to figure out how to watch more of it, and we realized that if we log in with Bethany's AT&T cell phone account to AT&T, like Watch TV or TV Now or Live TV, whatever it's called, which is weird because there's actually 2 AT&T TV apps, and apparently one of them, it came back and said this is the wrong account type, you can't log in, even though it just was so confusing. So we found the right app, logged in, and then like when you go into the AMC content, it allows us to stream it that way. And yeah, I think we're up to date. We went out of town, so there may be a new one now. You can use the AMC Plus with Prime Video, but you got to pay for it.
Yeah, you got to pay the premium.
Yeah, okay. So I know they at least give away a little bit of it, first 2 episodes, but it was pretty smart because it was enough for me to be like, "Yep, this is my new show. This is definitely what I'm watching." So I really like this show. I definitely recommend it. May not be for you, listener or Jordan, whoever you are. it may not be for you, but I find it very intriguing. I think there's a lot of story there that they build up just right off the first episode. It's like, okay, there's a lot of depth to where this could go and how interesting this could get. And for me, like the thing more than even just, okay, this is an interesting enough story. Okay, Annie is a good enough actor that I want to watch her, and there's some pretty good supporting characters that keep it interesting enough. It's just the style. Like it even says it in like the synopsis. It defies what you think of when you think of TV. You go from a single camera to like a multi-cam setup with like real dramatic angles, and it just and like the style immediately changes, the script immediately changes.
Yeah.
It's just
Wow.
so cool. I'm like, I feel so like refreshed when I watch this. Like something new. Thank you. Like finally somebody thought of something new to do. And I think that's what like gets me so excited. I feel like when I saw Lost, that's how I felt the first time. It was like, this is different. Like this I want to watch. I want to know where this story goes. I have no idea what's happening. Why is Jack in this, forest of bamboo? And what happened to this plane? Like, it's just, you know what I mean? I mean,
Yeah.
you got super excited about Lost, so you certainly know that feeling.
Still am.
Well, I mean, this for me, like, got me really excited right off the bat. So
you were the second person to bring this show up to me in the last 24 hours. So I believe I need to give this a watch.
Yeah. I mean, it's at least worth a watch, and I can understand if it's not for you. I think it's very interesting, and yeah, I've gotten in this feeling over honestly almost a couple years now where I just have not felt like there has been any show that's really captured me in any real way. It's been like these shows are fine. There's some interesting stuff. I mean, what I talked about, like can't even remember the name of the show. The Netflix like Smoke and Bone or whatever the crap.
Yeah. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, it's like they were definitely trying to be interesting, and it's like,
yeah,
they made an effort, and I commend them for that. I know it can be incredibly difficult to make a show, but it fell by the wayside quickly for me. I didn't really feel like going back and watching it. The whole freaking, I'm sure the whole season's out, but it just was like,
we talk about it all the time as like, we made it a joke, I'll have for Netflix to have a section just called the next Game of Thrones. And I feel like there's a lot of show like this. Is this the next Narnia? Or is this the next, the Avengers or whatever it is? There's always like that kind of feeling when you watch something every now and then, or the next Stranger Things, and
this to me, for me personally, I hate saying this, like building it up, like it's this amazing thing. If you don't like it, you're an idiot. I don't feel that way. But for me, this is not the next Breaking Bad. This is the next thing that you say, what's the next Kevin Can F himself? For me personally,
that's great.
I hate building things up, but it's just, it's me being honest. I think this is unique and original enough that it's not the next anything. It's its own thing.
That's great to hear. I'm
excited.
Probably might check out an episode tonight before I go to bed. How long are each episodes? Or is each episode?
They're pretty long, I think.
Like an hour,
40 minutes, an hour, something like that.
Cool.
IMDb, man, I hate this. I cannot find the information I want with this new setup, Like, I come to you just to find out something, and like it used to have like, here's the episodes, here's the time. Doesn't do that. It just says, here's the episode. Stupid.
Wow. That's cool. I'm gonna watch some of that tonight. I think I know someone who has like a Cox, like that's our cable provider account. So I think with that I might be able to watch some of it, maybe, or all of it.
Maybe.
I don't know. We'll see. But I'll find a way. Yeah. Life finds a way. Awesome, man. Good to hear. All right, let's we have a few things to talk about. So, Luke, you reminded me of this. I completely forgot this happened. It feels like it was like a month ago for me. But so Housemarque has joined Sony Entertainment, Sony Games Studios, Sony Games Studios.
Mark.
There it is. Yeah, that's a pretty good get, I'd say. Just their biggest game yet with Returnal.
Did you read the details on this? I was unclear when I heard this reported in the podcast I was listening to. It sounded like they reached an agreement. Are they actually like fully acquired?
There could be something
more
I
of
don't
a partnership
know, from
with
what
all exclusives.
It seems like an acquisition to me, but I could be wrong. From everything,
that's what I figured. It just, it was weird. Like the way I heard the story, it sounded like people were saying like business agreement instead of like full acquisition. I just I don't know.
I mean, interesting. I'm wondering like what the future holds for that team, because Returnal was such like a like a really big move forward for them, because everything else they've done have been like well loved but really bite-sized kind of experiences where it's like arcade games, where it's like this game, from what I haven't played Returnal, but from what everyone said, it's like if it's like a big budget adventure but with arcade style kind of action to it. And so I don't know, I'm interested to see what they do and how they work with Sony. It's funny, I do know that they accidentally, like one of the people in, like, I think it was in Sony Europe or something like that, it could have been one of the other countries' Twitter accounts, they accidentally also released Blue Point in an acquisition of Sony as well, like Sony also acquiring Blue Point. I don't know if they like have that media ready and they accidentally just posted it early. I don't know, but everyone's been anticipating that at some point, them acquiring Blue Point, which are those are the people who did the remake of Shadow of Colossus, and they basically do their have their career on making these really big budget remakes.
Bloodborne thing. What is it?
Dark Souls.
Yeah.
Demon Souls. Sorry. Sorry everyone. I let you down. But yeah, both good choices. Nothing like, in my opinion, that's super like, oh my god, like earth shaking, but very good. Very good.
It is acquired according to the Engadget article. So
gotcha.
Just so that's settled.
Yeah. Something I wanted to bring up real quick. Just kind of sad, but just to kind of pay respects. Richard Donner died.
Your boy.
My boy.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, Superman is
your favorite movie.
Yeah, it's like my favorite. I love it, and what important to me as a kid, important now. And so yeah, I mean, guy lived 91, but I think he offered a lot to cinema and to me personally. With I mean, also he was the producer of another one of my faves, The Lost Boys. He worked with Schumacher on that one, and wow,
he did a lot.
He's done a lot.
Scrooged.
Pop that in almost every year. Goonies, yeah, he's
cool. Definitely
like 70s, 80s. He is like film hero for that time frame. Everyone's seen something, and yeah. Well, good on him. I think he's offered a lot to cinema and to childhoods and into.
He directed so much.
Goodness, yeah. And even like something
all the way back to The Man from U.N.C.L.E. Like
goodness gracious,
he goes way back.
Yeah, and he branched out a few times to do something, not like he did The Omen, which is not a family friendly movie, which is weird. So he has range. But yeah,
his first directing credit is 1960.
Goodness gracious! So he's worked his butt off for a long time, and I don't know. I think like he
was producing The Goonies too. That's what it says.
I guess he just like, I don't know what the story is with Goonies too. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Very cool. But yeah, that he offered a lot. And he didn't like, it didn't seem like he outstayed his welcome either. He didn't like keep making things into his like late years, like flop after flop or anything like that. So it's probably for the best. But anyways,
help produce Free Willy.
Oh wow. Hold me. I don't know the lyrics to that song. Anyways, just thought it needed to mention.
Sir.
Cheers. Probably the biggest and last news we'll talk about is the announcement that we got today. Kind of glad we didn't record yesterday. I forgot we were supposed to record, but whatever. So Nintendo just kind of dropped the trailer and was like, here it is for the Nintendo Switch OLED model. OLED model is the name of the thing.
Not what we were really thinking was coming.
No, not fully at least. I mean, there seems like we've been inundated month after month of different leaks and reports from even like Bloomberg being like, here it comes. OLED, and the thing that probably caught everyone's eye the most was 4K. 4K display out when docked was a big thing that a lot of people were anticipating. Luke, I think you were among one of the ones that were most skeptical of this early on. I remember you saying like 4K handheld. I don't know about that. And so, yeah. today, I think, yeah,
in something that small, I mean, you just, there's no way you could do it handheld, but
yeah,
even docked, it's like just the heat sink alone. It's just, I mean, think about how much the PS5, like, I was kind of disappointed, honestly, with the new consoles, how much they've still kind of struggled with like doing high frame rate 4K.
yeah,
There's still a lot of performance modes, choices that you have to make in these games, even when they've been updated with the, what the not RE, the Final Fantasy VII remake, like upgrade, you still have to pick performance mode if you want to run that. And
yeah.
like, that's like, that just came out. So like, that's as cutting edge as you can get. And yeah, for them to, I don't know. Yeah, the rumor seemed weird, but
Yeah.
I think OLED is like, holy crap, like, yeah, this needed to be done so bad because OLED offers so many benefits. Just a quick little tech thing. So OLED means that every pixel is self emitting, basically. So OLED means organically light emitting diode, and that means each pixel is organically lit or lit by itself. So the nice thing about that is the blacks are blacker because those lights are actually turned off. But the even bigger benefit when you're having a handheld small console like this is the fact that those lights are not turned on, so they're not drawing power. So you have better contrast and you have battery saving. So OLED's like the thing that makes sense for phones, for calculators, for anything that needs a screen that has a battery. So it's a shame they didn't have this before, honestly, because I think the battery savings could be tremendous. I don't know if it's going to end up working out that way because it's got a bigger screen. So
yeah,
it may end up, evening out to being the same. But did they talk about any like change to the CPU? Like clock speed going up?
Nope. Well, they
more
did
memory or any of that?
There's been reports. When I say reports, I mean like some of these the report, because like the specs that they released are some kind of nebulous when it comes to like what that means. It's like NVIDIA custom chip, it's like stuff like that. Well, that doesn't tell me anything. But apparently, I forget which publication reached out to Nintendo, and they said there's no like big changes, or if any, to the CPU or GPU as far as that stuff goes. It's just
that's disappointing.
That is disappointing. Like that there isn't just a little bit of a benefit,
because that's 2017. I mean, that's getting very long in the tooth for something. It just, the mobile chip architecture changes so dramatically in 4 years. Like it changes dramatically in 1 year. When Apple announces an iPhone to the next year, it really is a pretty big difference.
Yes.
You may not be able to see it scrolling through your phone, texting people and stuff, but if you're able to actually like compare performances, it can be as much as 30-40% from 1 year to the next. So think about how much of a leap that would make with 4 years.
Yeah.
And Nintendo isn't going to have the same technology that Apple has, but they're still going to be able to buy chips from companies that are going to be dramatically easily could be double the speed and have better battery life. So I don't really understand Nintendo on that one.
Yeah, and there's something I want them to accomplish, which is frustrating to me. Going into this new generation, we're getting to the point where everything looks pleasing to me. Like where I get frustrated as far as resolution goes, I want everything to be, as far as when it's on the screen, to be 1080p or above. That's really it. I mean, I don't have to have everything in 4K or even 1440p or whatever. I don't have to. As long as it's in 1080, I'm like, that looks perfectly acceptable. But the problem is with Nintendo, with some of these games that are really, really pushing it, not really, usually it's not one of their first parties, even though some of their first parties can do this.
It's Skyrim or something.
Yeah, or The Witcher.
Is silly to say because it's an 8-year-old game.
Yeah. Or like The Witcher 3. It would dip so far below 1080 where I'm like, this is
a 5-year-old game.
Yeah. Where I'm like, this is ugly to look at. Why am I playing this? You know what I mean? It's like, but if it's 720 undocked and 1080 docked, that is 100% fine to me. That is fine. But I would love it if they were able to somehow boost their capabilities to where those games that aren't quite meeting that would just get there. Like, honestly, for me, that would be enough. And I hope that at some point they do something like that. But I mean, they're always going to be behind. I mean, maybe in 10 years, I'm going to be saying 1440p. That's all I ask for. You know what I mean? And so who knows? When the standards change, it seems they're always behind.
The jump up to 1080 is huge, and the jump to 4K is much smaller.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what it seems at least. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, that all being said, as far as the positives, yeah, as you said, OLED. That's really cool to have the OLED screen when you're playing it handheld. I mean, and the way me and Amber play, we play pretty much half the time handheld. We play the Switch a lot, both of us. I think she plays the Switch more than I do. And how our setup goes, like when we're hanging out, because we both play like pretty much equal part video games. We play just the same amount pretty much. And so a lot of times I'll be playing PS5 and she'll be playing Switch or vice versa. Honestly, and we switch back and forth, or I'll be watching something and she'll be playing Switch if it's not something she's not interested in. And so there's always like this TV handheld kind of thing. And sometimes when I'm alone, it's some big game and I don't feel like doing it, I'll just put the Switch there and just kind of play it on the television. But a lot of times we're playing handheld. So for us, this seems like, and this Switch, the one we have is getting pretty old. So we're seriously considering getting this as like an upgrade to the setup that we've had. We've got a lot of use out of our Switch. Between the two of us, hundreds and hundreds of hours. So yeah, and we were like, you know what? Yeah, like Amber was like, I was wondering what she was gonna say, because I was like, I was like, here's the new Switch revision or whatever it is, wherever you want to call it, new Switch model, I guess. And she's like, so what does that mean? Like a better screen, better battery life, probably. I was like, yep, that's pretty much it. She's like, cool. I was like, okay. All right. So, So yeah. And it looks nice. I think the white really looks cool, but yeah, I think though, all that being said, there is a tinge of disappointment because there could have been, you feel like there could have been something, right? I mean, as you said, 4K, but what'd you say? Boost clock speed, some of that stuff. A little bit. It's been a long time.
Well, yeah. To me, there's a lot of things I could say here, but to me, this is just another chapter in the Nintendo story of disappointing their fans in them just going halfway and not going where they could go, and I think what frustrates me the most is not that it's like, well, why didn't they do all this? It's like, we're not even, and I'm speaking as an outsider on this one because I'm not really a consumer of Nintendo stuff, but as Nintendo fans, speaking for you, it's just like, all we're asking is for you to do what every other company does, which is iterate on your hardware a little sooner. Use more modern things. Just bring the resolution up to full resolution. Make the games you want to make. Take the time you need to take. That's totally fine. You make your games in the art style that you enjoy